Okay, so let me just check out the chat box. I don't see any introductions yet. I guess I'll just start. Okay, hi Jennifer. Nice to meet you. I don't know how to describe your mood in words, but I say you're feeling chill. Yeah, I'll say you're feeling chill and cool. Hi Miriam, nice to meet you. Thank you. Our very able community manager. Mimi too is feeling happy. Toyosi is excited about the topic. Same here. Same here. Okay, I think that's everybody's favorite emoji at this point. Okay, my name is Temi Tokwe Samuel Omoti, and I'm feeling, will I say love? I'm feeling happy, very happy. Yep, nice to meet you, Temi Tokwe. Hi, Uye member. Nice to meet you. You're feeling moon. I guess that's how I describe that. So somewhere in the middle. I think the moon will signify calmness, night. So nice to have you here. Okay. The floor is still open. Yes, here is one of our speakers. Thank you, Mimi. Hi, Jenny. Nice to meet you. And great to hear that you're feeling good today. So am I. And I've just dropped mine in the comment as well. My name is Sheyi, and I'm feeling, will I say angelic? Okay. Uh, we're still open to many more introductions. Hi, Eneze. Hi, my name is Eneze. Hi, everyone. My name is Eneze Suberi. Everyone calls me AJ. I'm feeling happy. I guess I'll just call that happy. Okay, nice to meet you, AJ. Hi, Sonia. So Sonia is joining in from the ancient city of Abeokuta. I mean, that's one way to describe Abeokuta. You're feeling super. Okay, that's nice. Hi, Sonia. Nice to meet you. Okay, so please feel free to still introduce yourself in the comment section if you're just joining. Would love to hear about you and how you're feeling today. Okay, so moving on now. This is why we're here today, a quick guide to upcycling. So this event is first of all to commemorate World Cleanup Day. World Cleanup Day is a social action impact event that happens every year and connects thousands of people globally. World Cleanup Day is a reminder of the terrible impacts of pollution and also a reminder of what can happen, when we all work together to clean up our environment. Interestingly, this month at Susty Vibes commemorated this with street conferences in Lagos, Port Harcourt, Imo, Enugu. I think I'm missing out some. Kwara, in two locations in Kwara, in Malete and Ilorin. I think I got everything. Yeah, and Ibadan. Yes. So in this quick guide to upcycling, we'll be talking to three experienced upcyclers, Uye member Peter Bassi and Ineze AJ Suberu. I'll leave them to introduce themselves. I'm really looking forward to the session. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so I'll start with you, AJ. So can you please share your upcycling career journey and what inspired you, to start upcycling?
Hello, everyone, once again.
Hi, AJ.
Hi, everyone. My
Yes.
name is AJ Suberu. Um, my upcycling career journey started as a means to right my wrongs in a way. I say so because growing up, I was quite an adventurous kid. I would explore with almost everything in my environment, from the flower vases in the house to even the decorations on the curtains. I just wanted to, I already drew, so I could, you'd find me sometimes keeping the, the flower vase in front of me to use that as a subject for my drawing. Or I could find a loose thread on the curtain and then I'm pulling at it just to understand how it was woven and all of that. But before you know it, it's either I mistakenly break the vase or rip the curtain. And then I would get scolded. So in a bit to kind of write that and be seen as a fixer and not a destroyer, I started to think of ways in which I could repurpose these things that I might have destroyed in one way or the other. Started to think of either how to fix it or how to find new use for it. And before you knew it, I was gathering things that people were ready to throw into the trash. And then I was turning them to treasures and better things. My sisters, who when they discovered that I could do something like that, if they found something that they didn't have use for anymore, and then they wanted to toss it, they would first bring it to me and be like, can you fix this, AJ, or turn it into art, probably? And yes, almost all the time I could do that. So over time, it grew to me, you know, making a lot of things from items around my environment. It got to a stage where other people around me realized that I was really good in my hands. I could craft things. I started making alphabet bracelets for people. It was trending at some point in time. I don't know if anyone remembers it. You have your names on the bracelets and all of that. And my friends who saw that said I could actually do this in a better way, do this in a more personalized way. I had a friend who he runs a coconut oil business. He told me that his shells, when he's done making the oils, he most oftentimes has no use for it and he sells it to people who use them for a fire. So do I think I can make something artistic with it, or should he just continue selling it off to them? I was scared. It sounded like a good idea, but I didn't know how exactly to go about it. So I didn't really give him a response. I had other friends who heard about the idea and then said the best way for most of these things is to just start. So together we started, and before you knew it, we had made a number of pieces. The process opened us to new ideas, to a new realm, I should say, a new feeling, because we had taken something that would have been discarded as waste and we had turned it into something important. It now also gave us the idea to target, embrace the newness, in a way to also guide people that they can find treasures, they can find new things in what would otherwise have been discarded. So this was how my Cocoa Peas business started in 2017. And since then, I've sold a number of pieces, and hopefully, I've inspired a lot of people to be boundless in the things they do.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, it's good to be tagged a fixer, not a waster. And I love the tagline as well, embrace the newness. So I'll just ask a member as well the same question. Could you please share, your inspiration for, starting upcycling, your upcycling career, basically? Hi, you're still muted.
Okay. Hi,
Yeah.
good evening.
Hi, great to see your face.
Thank you. Okay, so my name is Membe Uye. My upcycling journey started I mean, I've always been someone who was very crafty growing up, but it was basically in the line of fashion. I liked sewing things with needle. I didn't have a machine, so I was always making most of the things with needle and thread. But officially, my upcycling journey started in 2019 when I attended a boot camp that was organized by Street Project Foundation. So I had this facilitator who was teaching us crafts, and she could do so many amazing things with plastic bottles. And I mean, I got so attached to her. We became like best friends in camp. I was always following her. I was just amazed by the things she could do with plastic. So our graduation in the boot camp, we're asked to everybody to come up with a project, and I decided to do a collection of clothes designed with plastics and all of that. And after that, I did an internship with her. So since then, since I learned I could do a whole lot of things with plastic, I've been obsessed with plastic ever since. I mean, these days, I'll say it's even, the obsession has calmed down a bit. Unlike before that I first learned about this, I used to go about with leather bags because I felt like anytime I'm going on the road and I see a plastic bottle, it will just be telling me, pick me, pick me, pick me, and all of that. So yeah, since 2019, from the boot camp, I have been doing a whole lot of things with plastic, and it has really been amazing and awesome. In the house right now, my cousins, they know I upcycle, so everybody, my 7-year-old, anytime he goes to school, and probably he will bring in even used boxes for me to recycle. And sometimes they'll go and dump it on my bed. I have to like always tell them, please, if you want to give me anything to upcycle, just put it at the back. So yeah, it has been exciting. So that's my upcycling journey. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Meme. Okay, so I guess we'll just go to Peter and the same question. And I loved when, Meme mentioned the part where she said bottles on the road were screaming her name and saying, pick me, pick me. I don't know if anyone else can relate. So let's go to Peter. Hi, Peter. Thank you so much for joining. Great to see your face. So could you briefly introduce yourself and share your upcycling journey?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. I want to be sure you are hearing me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. So once again, my name is Peter Pasi. I am the founder and CEO of PIB Global Services Limited. PIB are my initials, Peter Imebom Pasi. Registered the company as a business name, that is as an enterprise in 2020. Immediately, we registered, we started officially, that was when lockdown started. But what we started with was to remove water from the Lagos Lagoon, just like what we have in the Jabi Lake. The green plant that is on the water is not, it's called water hyacinth. So we started by removing the plants and turning the plant into so many products. And because we were cleaning up technically we were cleaning up the waterways. So we don't just remove only the water hyacinth because it would be as if we are not serious. So we also remove plastic bottles too, plastic waste in general, in a way of trying to make something meaningful while we are recycling the water into several other things like organic fertilizer and stuff. We also derive means on how to on recycling and upcycling the plastic bottles. So we turn the plastic bottles into artworks. Let me briefly share my video. Do I have a slide there? The artworks. So these artworks now, we decide to put the artworks with the plastic waste with the water hyacinth to make some artwork. Now, this is a very interesting journey for us because we've been doing this for over 3 years, 2020, now it's 3 years. And we started, like I said, we started in Lagos State. but we are now cleaning up Jabi Lake in Abuja and other parts of Nigeria. We also organized proxy some of these upcycling businesses and events outside Nigeria. The journey is cool because we take things that are amazed at and we're able to also see the impact that you've created. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing, Peter. I think your network cut off a bit at the end, but thank you so much for sharing. And I was wondering, it's great that you shared your story as well, because when Uye and AJ shared, they mentioned starting from a young age. So it was great to see that you started at 2020, which means that, I mean, there's no age limit. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, so we'll just move back to Uye now. And so the question is, could you share some specific creative upcycling projects that you have done in the past, and how they've made a positive impact on the environment and on the local communities?
Okay. Hi again.
Hi.
Okay. So since I started upcycling, I mean, I've done a whole lot of things. When I first started, when I first started, I didn't actually know like particularly what to do or how to even go about it. So what I did most of the time was, most times go around the community, especially my immediate community, and with my friends, and we sensitize people on the importance of upcycling and the things they can do about it. And I have trained a number of women and boys with this skill. And also last year, in partnership with Women in Africa, I trained about 100 plus women in Africa on how to recycle their PET bottles into beautiful jewelry and other things they can do with their fabric waste and all of that. And clothes projects, I have done it, like I have customers who send me their old clothes for me to repurpose for them. And I have other people who actually call me to, like, I have an order for a dress they asked me to make it with can tabs. I'm still gathering those. And this also provide an employment for like women in my community, or say displaced people, because most times when I'm looking for these tan caps, is like this babambola. Most times first when I started collecting them, I collected them from Ecobata, but as time goes on, I collect them now from like this babambola. When they are passing, I can just stop one and tell them, okay, I'm in need of these and I would like you to gather them for me, and when you bring it, I'll give you a token. Yeah, so I do that a lot. And sometimes I ask women also bring me plastic bottles and they get like a tip from it. But these days, I don't really have to like go sorting plastic so much, because even in my house, I have so much. So I don't go sorting out plastics like that anymore. But I mean, we've done like cleanups with my friends, like, and one major one for me was during lockdown. I organized and trained. It was an online training where I trained women on how to upcycle their PET bottles into jewelry. And I know like a number of people who are still doing that, who are still doing it, even if they are not even doing it for commercial use, they are doing it for their own use. And it's always exciting seeing that people are beginning to, accept and also do the same thing. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing, Meme. It's very exciting to hear how you're empowering young people, empowering women, and empowering displaced people as well. We love to see it. Thank you so much. So I see some interesting comments in the chat box, and I'll just quickly read them. I see Ayamide says, I can relate. I believe that's when I was referring to, when plastic is cloning your name. And Jen Uche says, it's so cool that all the speakers have created a brand out of their creativity and passion for a better environment. Kudos to you all. Agreed. Thank you for sharing, Jennifer. I'm coming back to you, Peter, now, as our, founder, CEO, businessman. So let's talk. Is there a career path, or is there a business opportunities in upcycling, and how can young people who have limited experience or who have limited resources tap into this?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Upcycling is quite interesting because unlike recycling that you need a lot of capital or machineries to process, when you are going into upcycling, all you need to do is to add few skills. Like what we just said, you take plastic bottle and you turn them into jewelries and stuff. So if you have skills, you can just add few things. Imagine just cutting a plastic bottle and maybe adding few things for it to turn to maybe a container for you to put your items in the office or at home. So you don't really need much. You just need to start from somewhere, get whatever resources you have and get started. You don't wait until you have everything. Within us, we generate a lot of waste. So within you, in your household, you can create stuff. You can make things. You can make something out of nothing from whatever you have. Then from there, you'll be able to build trust. Can maybe make first two customers, your family members being your first customers, your friends being your first customers. So you start. Like I said, when I started PIB Global Services, it was during lockdown. And we did not, during lockdown, you did not go, people were not moving, the whole country, the whole world was shut down. But because I had waste within my environment where I live in Lagos, so I started from there. It was after the lockdown that I then started traveling to parts of Nigeria, like in Abuja, to establish a new branch. Then I now travel back to my hometown, Uyo, to start a new branch. But if I did not start from somewhere, I did not start from the waste within my community in Lagos State, I'm not sure I would have gone far. So you don't need to go far. You don't need to look for resources elsewhere. There are ways, even the ways that you generate your household, you can start from there.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing, Peter. And thank you for your encouragement. We can start from where we are. So based on that question, right, I would like to ask AJ a question on why exactly is upcycling important, right? And Peter also mentioned that, oh, you need to get just need to get some skills. So how do I get those skills? Why is upcycling important, especially as it relates to waste generation in Nigeria?
Sorry, I didn't really get your question.
Okay, sure.
I had a bit of
Okay.
network.
Okay, no problem. Please can you confirm that you can hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So the question is, why exactly is upcycling important, especially in the context of, waste generation? And Peter mentioned that, to start upcycling, you just need to get a few skills, and I know you mentioned that as well. So, if I wanted to start upcycling and get these skills, how could I go about that?
Okay. Upcycling is important in a lot of ways, actually. That's in one of those ways, it helps to reduce the strain of waste that ends up going into dump sites. Okay. You would find that Nigeria doesn't really have enough or perfect working means to upcycle or even take care of waste, you know. So by getting involved in upcycling as individuals, it would help to reduce the amount of waste that goes into dump sites and all of that. It would also help to conserve resources, the limited resources that Nigeria seems to have at this point. You know, there are a lot of things that might be lying around in our homes, old furniture, tires, we see a lot of. Repurposing these things keeps them from polluting our environment. There are things that are easy to find in your immediate environment. And with a little research, with a little even discussion with friends and people around, you would find that there's a whole lot of useful things you can use these things to make. Other ways that upcycling helps is once you're doing these things and you're sharing your story, it inspires other people around, you know, to do this same thing or even something like it. You're encouraging people to not even dump their waste just around their surroundings, or instead, like member said, you can meet your friends who you know are already into these things and just donate sort of these materials to them, and they can put it to good use, even if you are not at that stage yet to learn or to do these things. Upcycling helps in another way by minimizing energy consumption, minimizing greenhouse gases, because it takes little or no machinery to make something functional. You can just find materials or other tools to use around you that are not harmful, that are not toxic, and will not, you know, bring harm to everyone around, to actually make something productive. Those are a few ways in which upcycling can help the environment and reduce waste.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. I think what really stood out from what you shared, you know, is just how when you are doing something, it just naturally draws other people to you, and now everybody wants to upcycle, you know, especially from what Meme said as well. Now, when everybody has something, you know, that they don't know what to do with, or they are looking for inspiration or something, they always know who to reach out to, and they always know, oh, waste doesn't have to literally be wasted. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. So I think I'm coming back to you here. So what are I'm going to merge two questions in one now, right? So what are some common misconceptions about upcycling that you have heard or that you know? And if you have any misconception in mind or you have anything you want to clarify in mind, you can just drop it in the chat box too. And also, what challenges / obstacles have you faced and how have you been able to overcome these challenges?
Okay, so let me say one of the most common misconception people come up with, they think for anyone to upcycle, they feel, okay, I must be a crafty person. I must be someone who has gifted hands to be able to upcycle. That's not true. You don't have to be a crafty person to upcycle. Upcycling takes as much, and then people believe that it takes too much time. So upcycling will take as much time as you give it. So it's not, if you want to do a project and you decide that, oh, I'm going to give 2 weeks, 1 week to this project, that's just the time you have appointed to the project. There are some, if you want a project to last just for a day, you can also do that. So when it comes to when people thinking, okay, you have to be a crafty person to be able to upcycle. I mean, there are a lot of ideas on the internet that you can look up and, try to do it yourself. Or if you don't even want to do it yourself, these days there are so many people out there who are upcycling. If you don't want to do it yourself, you can ask somebody to do it for you or donate to somebody. People will always find use of it. And then some of the challenges I have faced upcycling is customer behavior. So some people, because it's made from plastic or because it's made from fabric of course, they think it's low quality, which is not true. Like when I go to some exhibitions, people will be like, oh, this is nice. I'm like, okay, these are upcycled. What's it made from? Made from your pet's bottles. They'll be like, and you're calling it that price? I'm like, most times I don't even get to talk. I'll be like, if you know the amount of time or the amount of energy I put in doing this, you will not even be saying that. But I mean, like I said before, it's just the amount of time I've decided to give to it to make it come out perfect. And then I'll say space. Space has always been one of my major issues. Like before now, I used to do it. I started doing it in my room. But right now I've been opportune to move to a house garage, which I now have a little bit of space to work in. But at some point, I say beginning of this year, I had to discard some things because I had way too many things. So I took some of the bottles I had to EcoBata. Some of the things I didn't want, I took them to EcoBata. And then getting people, I would say getting people who are also passionate and patient enough to, do the same thing I do is also a challenge. Because most times I will bring in some people, they'll be like, I like to learn, I would love to learn what you do and stuff like that. But when they come, they are very excited, they are very enthusiastic about it and everything. But I'll give them 2 weeks, they'll be like, remember, this thing is too difficult to and it's time consuming. I don't think I can do this. So that has been like one of the major challenges, which that one I have not been able to, find a solution for it yet. I have a lady now who is very much interested in that. And she's very patient and always there, which I'm trying to teach her what I do. But now the problem is she on her own, she has a child and the child is always everywhere, disturbing. She will not allow her work and all of that. So that one is something I'm still trying to find a solution for. What else? I think that's it for now.
Thank you for sharing. It's interesting to hear those misconceptions. People dropped some other common misconceptions that they've heard in the comment section. Toyosi says people can see upcycling as poor people's thing or as an other sort of things. Mimi says, I just sometimes feel like upcycling stuff looks like junk. Um, Mimi also says she has also seen very beautiful upcycled products that look unique and cool. And Ayomide Amuson is alluding to what you said, saying that getting people involved is always quite the challenge. So we'll get back to, demystifying or, these conceptions during our question and answer session. But before that, let's quickly ask Emizi just one final question. And if you have any questions or anything you need clarification on, this is the time to drop it in the chat box. So yeah, Emizi, we're back to you. Okay, so the question is, when considering upcycling, what are the factors to consider to make sure that the upcycled products are functional and they are actually sustainable? I mean, this is also sort of linked to what Mimi dropped in the chat box, saying how people can feel like upcycled stuff looks like junk. And the truth is that, yeah, so how do I make sure that I'm not just creating another junk and I'm creating something that is sustainable and can last for a while and is actually functional?
So yes, rightfully, upcycled products don't have to be junk. Upcycled products can be, it's something you want to keep around for more. You want to be proud to say this was actually made from something else. This has more than just one purpose. Okay. Something to consider actually when you are careful. Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. So yes, it's to carefully select your materials. Okay, you can start by finding things in the environment that are already causing a hazard. You could use plastic bottles, you could use nylon and all of those things that are often discarded as waste. They are easy to get, and you can always have more in supply to make better products out of. When you're considering these materials, you should still check to make sure they don't have any other hazardous components in it. If it's toxic, you keep that out. You don't use toxic paints and all of that. You should also check for durability. What you're making is not something that should last just maybe months or maybe a year. You're trying to avoid having to discard this thing and it's turning into another scrap or waste or so. So you make sure it's durable. It's not just, oh, okay, this has been tossed and I have some upcycling skills, so let me just use this. You check the material. Is it good enough? Will it look pretty in the end? And all of that. You should also select materials that are eco-friendly. Like I said before, don't use anything that's toxic, anything that could harm the environment or you, even while making it. Several other things to consider while upcycling is actually quality and good workmanship. Your creativity matters. It's not enough to just say, oh, I learned this somewhere and then I would like to make something out of it. You go the extra mile, you do research, and then you see how you can make that thing better. There's always a unique touch everyone has to add to something. So it's about thinking deeply, asking people around. You could even do surveys to know what they think about what you're making and how they think you can make it better. Okay. While upcycling, so another thing to consider is getting involved in a community. It's good to see that we have a lot of upcyclers coming up daily. It's even good that we have this Sustivide platform and, stories of upcyclers get to spread around. So it's good to be part of such communities and it will motivate you. It would help you find ways and that push to go the extra mile. You would have seen something someone created and you would learn from it and learn how to package your stuff better or even do a proper finishing. So yes, upcycled products should not just be seen as scrap. They should not just be left at a stage where it still looks like junk. It should be made as beautiful as possible.
Hey, thank you so much, AJ, for sharing. I absolutely agree. And I mean, when you were speaking, it reminded me of the 3 hours of 3 hours of what is it, sustainability now, that says the first thing you want to do is reduce. So you're reducing the amount of plastic and waste you generate. And then the next thing you want to do is reuse. So if you couldn't reduce it, then you reuse it. And upcycling is a good way to reuse stuff. And then the last thing is recycling. So just to make sure that you're creating a product that is, like you mentioned, sustainable and functional. So I'm just going to take a look at the comment section. Ikena says you can't hear us, or yeah, okay. So we have a few questions in the comment section. And Uye, back to you first of all. Would you like to um, check out the misconceptions that people say they've heard? And would you like us to just help clarify some of those misconceptions?
Sorry, can you take that again? I didn't quite hear you well.
Okay. So when we were speaking about misconceptions, a couple of people added some other misconceptions that they've seen in the comment section. Toyosi says a common misconception that she's heard is that upcycling is poor people's doing, or it's just ordering. And Mimi says upcycling stuff can sometimes look like junk, and I think AJ helped us to clarify that one. And yeah, I think those are the main two misconceptions that were in the comment section. If you'd like to.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so for the person that said an upcycle is poor people thing, I don't quite agree with that because it depends on the network where you find yourself. Because I've been in circles where people are willing to pay very high to get these things. And I know that my customers, they pay really, like if I'm upcycling something for them, especially when it's bespoke upcycled, I mean, they pay very high. For I tell them that, see, this thing is going to take me more than if I was going to make something like something fresh for you. And these days, I think people customers are beginning to understand, and also like they don't just want to buy things. They want to know, like, this thing I'm buying, what is it made of, who made it, and stuff like that. So it's not just about, okay, these things are poor people thing. There are people who think like that. I mean, I've been in some places where people will come and they are pricing 10 naira for it. And I've been in places where some people, the same thing I can sell for 1,000 naira, somebody else somewhere is willing to pay as much as 5,000 to get it, and they are selling it, please. So for me, I think it's just the network or the environment where you find yourself. And then why some people see it as junk as well is, I think, when it's not properly made. And I think before you recycle, you should probably think about it carefully. You can research, and there are so many ideas out there online that you can look up. There are even videos. If you want videos, you can also get videos on how to do it better, how to make it, because you don't want to upcycle something and then you wear it for just a day or two and then it's bad again. That means the aim we are trying to achieve is lost, because we are trying to stop it from ending up on landfills, and then you upcycle and somebody wears one and then it's tore apart, or is no more good, or it has gone bad, or something else has happened to it, and then the person is no more using it. So the aim will be lost. So I think before anybody thinks upcycling or recycling, you should look up ideas, possible videos, so that you can make it good. You can make it look quality. When somebody look at it, they will now look and say, ah, this looks like this is junk or something. When somebody look at it, say, ah, this is junk, but it looks lovely. I would like to own this. So yeah, that's what I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for helping us to demystify some of this misconception. So Ayomide has a question in the chat box. Lovely creations, by the way. They're very colorful, nice, attractive. So Ayomide's question is, I have a challenge with getting colorful nylon in my upcycling journey. How can I sustainably source for waste materials always? Just okay. So it says just like these products were made from nylon, but sourcing for the colorful ones is a challenge, and that takes time too. Sorry to hear about that, Ayo. Keep up the good work. I really love the product. So I guess I'll just pass this on to Peter.
Okay, so to answer that, first you need to go around your environment, go to any place that produce that you know they're always bringing lot of nylons. You go to the markets, all the people that sell in a bale of clothes and stuff, or maybe they sell stuff. I always see a lot of different colors of nylons in the market disposed, and even in the waste bin. So you can even dedicate someone because upcycling, when you want to do upcycling, it's not something that you want to do by yourself. So you can say, okay, you can even employ someone, just like what we are doing PIB. We have some staff we pay salary. So you dedicate someone, that person's job should be sourcing for this material. So the person has his own job to do. So the person will go extra miles to go and source for these things. And you'll be surprised that those things that you might say, okay, you have difficulty in finding them, that someone else will be able to get them for you. Because the person will know that this is what I need to give give the person a target. Maybe you should bring like 50 kg per week, something like that. So the person will know where to go and get them. They're always there in the market, supermarkets. You can even go to supermarket and tell them, please, when you unpack this, keep it for me. And you must also make sure that you go and pack those things so that when they keep it for you, when it's time for them to clean up, they don't see you, they will have to clean it up because they too don't want to keep waste. So to answer that is dedicate people to find out for you. Either you get them as full-time employee or you tell them, okay, this is your job, you outsource it, get this from me and I'll be paying you this amount of money per kg or whatever, however I want to measure it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much for sharing, Peter. I think there's someone that's okay. Ayomide, just going to mute you. Yep. Okay, so I hope that answered your question, Ayomide. I think one thing that could also help, is what I think AJ mentioned about creating like a community of upcyclers, maybe creating a platform or something where people can, share, and someone might just have the location of somewhere or someone that can help you, with this. So let's move on to our last and final question from Miriam. So Miriam says, is the market favorable for upcyclers in the sense that a lot of creativity and time is put in place to create a piece? So Ineze, would you like to share your thoughts on that?
It's just like Member said, people these days, thanks to the awareness and stories that go out, people these days don't just want to buy something. They want to know who made it, where it's coming from, what the inspiration is behind it, what the story is that the product is pushing forward. So yes, that's what people pay for at the end of the day. And to be honest, they don't mind paying high prices for that. We don't say high in the sense to kind of scare people away, or in the sense that it doesn't match the value for what we are selling. But yes, it's lucrative. People like to see art, craft, and upcycled products. People also want to, they pay extra prices for that personalized feel that they get from it. Like with the cocoa pieces I make, you can have your names on it. You can have phrases that mean more to you than just the piece in front of you. So yes, people would pay good enough for the products being made.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing. I mean, I totally agree. Sorry, just give me something. Yep. Okay, so thank you so much for sharing. Totally agree. So basically, what you said also, like I said, reminded me or made me understand how important it is for you as an upcycler to brand your product and always make sure that you are telling your story. Yep. Okay, so with that, we've answered all the questions. Okay, Mimi dropped another comment. She says, I'm glad that people see the value in this product. Well done, AJ, Peter, and Uye. And I think that's a perfect summary. That's a perfect vote of thanks and quote. Yes, so we've come to the end of our session. Thank you so much for joining from all of us at Thirsty Vibes. Shout out to everyone who came out to listen, and shout out to our speakers. If you'd like to connect with us, you can connect with us on either of our social media handles on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, or you can contact us via email at info@thirstyvibes.org. Yep. We're also on Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube as well. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and the rest of your weekend. I hope your weekend is as joyful as these people on our screen. So bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you for having us.
Bye. Thank you for having us.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.